are live. Sweet, Drake. Well, we finally did it. We finally found the time to sit down and yap for a little bit. How are you doing this evening?
I'm hanging in there. I just finished a big break on TikTok, and yeah, it was kind of slow, but the break was insane. So the
Yeah,
juxtaposition is stuck with me. But I'm hanging in there, dog. How are you?
dude, I love it. I have about a storage bin full of about 100 something packages right behind me that I took care of today. I didn't do any breaking today. So for those of you listening, today's Labor Day. So a lot of folks are off, including myself. So got to catch up on some things I've been meaning to. So
You ship 1 day a week.
I do every Sunday typically, and then I drop off Mondays.
That's crazy, dog.
But
You
yeah,
scan all of those packages at the post office?
no, I dump them behind a wall. They have like a wall, like a specific drop off area that like you can't reach into, so I just do it there.
There you go. There you go.
Cool. Let's intro this a little bit.
Let's do it.
So those of you who are listening out there on the interwebs, this is the Hobby Hangar, a sports card podcast powered by JetBreakers. I'm Trent. This is Drake, and we're excited to have you. So we've been talking about putting this on for a while, just a platform for folks to come in and listen, whether you're on your way to work or you're just hanging out, sorting some cards or whatever. A platform where you can learn about different aspects of the hobby, different sports, everything in between, and we're just along for the ride, and we're gonna have some fun with it. Got anything to
We're
add,
gonna have
Drake?
some fun. No, I think this is. I don't want to be two talking heads who are just giving you the same old bull crap you're getting fed from everywhere else. I think Trent and I will probably have unique perspectives on a lot of things, given we're both employed and working in the hobby, and Trent has a full-time job, and we're both interfacing on the social side of things as well as on the actual hobby and like seeing a lot of this stuff in person. So no, I'm excited to get into it and give the people a little bit of background about us and kind of like why we're doing this in the first place.
Heck yeah, absolutely, Drake. So what are you doing here, Drake? Why are you so important in this hobby space that you felt that you needed to be one of those talking heads?
Well, I went to school for theater, so if there's anything I'm going to do, it's take the room and command attention and ask for it in every way. But no, I got into the hobby through my brother in like post COVID and sort of like 2021, 2022. His wife got really sick, and so he was in the hospital a bunch, and he was like buying into breaks to pass the time. And he was like, "Hey, check this out." And I've always been into fantasy football, like I don't want to say always, but I think during COVID, I really got into it in like multiple dynasty leagues, auction leagues, salary cap leagues where you're managing contracts year to year and like best ball stuff. And the correlation between fantasy and the hobby to me was a natural transition of like, oh, I'm investing in these players that I'm expecting to perform maybe a year or 2 years from now. That same concept has sort of evolved into having maybe a physical relic instead of just like a digital piece. So for me, whenever I got introduced to the hobby, I took to it right away, and I only ever really cared about football. And I played football, and it's the only sport that I watch and play fantasy for. So for me, it was sort of like an absolute no-brainer that would be the one that I'm into. So yeah, ripping cards, buying into breaks, stopping, and I was driving a ton, like stopping at Targets and Walmarts and buying blasters and ripping them in my car and doing that whole hobby thing.
Mapping out. We're all right. So we're gonna hit this one first, then we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go here. We've all been there.
We've all been there. Territorial sales rep who's like, I'm driving in my territory. I'm gonna stop at a Target.
Yeah, but man, like we've all been there. We like the blaster runs. We've all been there.
I don't do it as much anymore, honestly. Now that I break, it's like that's part of why I started breaking was because I wanted to fulfill that need that I felt like I had to open wax and the desire to see cards. But also, like from a financial perspective, like nobody can, buy all of those boxes. That's why breaking exists in the first place. So that's sort of how I got into breaking. And then I came in with JetBreakers probably about 9 months ago now, and like end of January. And yeah, that's how I got here. But I know we're with JetBreakers a little bit before I was with JetBreakers, but you were the newbie in the group until I came along. So
I was the new guy for a while. So background on me, I'm active duty Air Force. I'm a captain in the United States Air Force, proudly serving.
For your service, sir.
Oh yeah, trooper. But no, I went to the United States Air Force Academy. Greatest part of my life. Got a degree, met my wife, did everything there, and then commissioned and went on to some duty stations. And while I was stationed in Alabama, I found this Facebook group. So I was the same way, driving around to the different Walmarts, finding blasters, things like that, ripping. And I was sitting there with a bunch of cards, and I'm like, man, like I got to figure out a way to sell these. And, the classic, eBay, I tried eBay, hammered with fees. So I was like, let me check out Facebook. And I just searched baseball card groups, and I found this group, MLB Buy Sell Trade Breaks, powered by JetBreakers.
Classic.
I was like, all right, nice. Like, so jumped in there, started selling some things. And I remember one day this admin posted for the company, Rare Edition. We'll probably tap on Rare Edition while we're doing some episodes. But he said, hey, we're doing a survey, and we're trying to figure out, hey, what is like the hobby standpoint of, Beckett has a 9.5 gem mint, PSA has a 10 gem mint. What does the hobby really want for the grading scale? So take this survey and you'll get 10% off, 20% off, whatever it is, your next submission. Did the survey, no survey code to input that at the website. So me being me, I'm like messaging this guy. I'm like, hey man, like your dang survey didn't work. And sure enough, he was in a flight suit. And I was like, what do you do?
One of us.
Yeah, literally. And so that's what struck up the conversation with Jason, the owner of JetBreakers. Shout out Jason, good dude. Also Air Force. He's a major, so he's a dog compared to me as a little pup. But no, I messaged him, figured it out, and I was like, hey, if you ever need any help in the rooms, let me know. Made me a moderator, and then a few months later, he goes, now, folks listening out there on the internet, if somebody tells you fly across the country and meet them at a card show for meeting them for the first time, most of the time it's not a good idea. But me being me, I took the risk, flew out to the Burbank card show. Now known
military man, I could trust
military
man.
Yeah. Now the West Coast card show, I flew out there, met Jason in person, and he goes, dude, you need to be a breaker. And I'm like, I don't want to be on camera. Look at me now.
Look at you now, though. Look at you now on all the social feeds too, because you're putting stuff up every day.
Yeah, I put everything up now.
I love it. I love it. Wow, full circle though. That's crazy that, like, a lot of companies and stuff talk about people interacting with the company before they start working for them. But like, I was in a similar boat where I didn't work for Jason. I worked with him, like he was distributing wax to me as I was a breaker. And that relationship evolved into being able to come and join the JetBreakers squad. So it really is all about who you know. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't think myself a year and a half ago saw what I'm doing today as a possibility had it not been for Jason or for that
not at all
bridge between the two. Well, I want to make sure we get some time to talk about the state of the hobby. And like, I know that's pretty general, but we're both living in different ecosystems. You're ripping almost absolutely exclusively baseball, right?
Yeah. Well, I will say this. I dabble in UFC. Now, by no means am I any sort of expert. I just enjoy ripping it. Because for me, like, it's the same thing. So the state of the hobby in baseball is booming. I mean, like, genuinely, baseball is, in my opinion, the only product that you can truly rip year round and chase something every single year after year. And that's simply because of both, like, prospects. Like, hey, 5 years from now, this kid might be the next Aaron Judge or the next Shohei Ohtani. Like, I don't see that across any other sport personally, but I feel like that's what gives baseball its edge.
The closest would be, from a player longevity standpoint, would be basketball. But because basketball is so consolidated to those starting rosters, you don't have really depth to chase in that way. Like, if they're not panning out in the first 2 or 3 years, the likelihood that they're going to just evolve overnight into, I mean, SGA, which I don't do basketball, but I know there are some players who have kind of taken that leap. But being in the baseball only realm, like, what is your take on Panini baseball products that are unlicensed? Like, do you rip any of that mixed in with your top stuff? Like, do people like that type of product?
So I will say this, it's certainly divided. So, I mean, I own some Panini things. The thing is, Panini gives you the opportunity to chase those guys. So I'll give you a good example. I've got a box of 2025 Bowman on my shelf, and that's a $300 plus box for one autograph.
Okay.
I have boxes of Panini Prospect Edition, which has some of the same names and some of the better names from years past, that has 6 autographs in it, and it's $100 box.
Wow.
So it's one of those things where if you want to chase the player, then that's a great way to do it if you want to save some cash. Now, will those cards have the same resale value? No. And
No.
that's why so many people want to stick to the licensing and everything, which I get. But at the end of the day, if you're just looking to collect it, I mean, if you don't mind it, I mean, to be fair, some of the images are not great.
The airbrushing is not
Yeah,
not always the best
some of
job.
them are actually like pretty decent to where, you know, somebody's like turned just right enough to where
Player
it look
pose,
you're like, if I look at that from far enough away, that might be licensed.
But do you have guys, I guess, in that Panini box with like multiple autographs? Do you have guys that are only signing for Panini that are chases in the
No.
prospect ecosystem?
No, so that's something unique. I mean, there might be somebody out there who corrects me, but I haven't seen it. I mean, there are names like I know like we just saw like Patrick Mahomes signing an exclusive deal with Panini,
Yep.
right? Yeah, and so it's like I know that some NFL guys are signing exclusive deals. I don't think that they have the ability to do that. Now, I will say Panini only has the ability to get prospects and legends. So they can't have active players on there.
Players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's a few exceptions. Like I know Jackson
Yeah.
Merrill, who's like a 2024 rookie who has autographs in that box. But the thing is, it's few and far between.
Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. From football, we're stuck in a weird like triage period where, you know, the license is going to shift in April to Tops and to Fanatics, but we've had both parties making product in two classes where the prospects have been some of the best of the last 5 years. So people are like, it's also very torn. People are, you know, either wanting to chase the player that in a licensed product or wanting to chase their autograph. The challenge that for football is, you know, everyone has to sort of settle with the concept that there's no perfect rookie card for any of these guys. There is no rookie fully licensed one-of-one autograph for any of the star players of the last 2 years. So if that's not available, if that's not a possibility, the next two best are a Superfractor auto, you know, from Tops that's not licensed, or the black one-of-one $500,000 finite prism that was sold to the Washington Commanders owner. So
oh yeah, true.
It's so interesting because we're also about to not get Tops products for 2025.
Yeah.
And Panini is about to, you know, sort of maximize, I think, their print capacity and capability over the next
keep them
few
going.
months. Yeah,
keep them going.
Keep those things rolling around the clock, man.
Yeah. So I mean, it's Labor Day. If I'm not mistaken, football starts in what, 4 days?
3 days.
3 days. Are like how's the pulse in the football crowd?
It's always interesting because I'm so deeply dug in on the dynasty realm. I've been on these rookies since like, you know, April, May. I've done my best ball drafts through the summer. And I think the general public is like, we know their names, but we haven't really seen them play. Mm-hmm. We're not sure if these teams are going to be any better than they were last year. So I'm very excited. I think a lot of the people that are really keyed in on the rookies, because it's such a strong rookie class from a running back perspective, like Omarion Hampton, Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, RJ Harvey, like there's 5 or 6 running backs in this class. And last year we had Bucky Irving, like one running back. Who
I was hoping you were going to say Ashton Genty, so I would know one of the names.
Genty's in this year. Genty's in this year's class, and I didn't even mention him in that list because he's so high up on the list that people forget that he's up there. Like that's how good he's going to be. But yeah, people are excited. I think more than anything, football's really compacted into these weekly, like huge rises, huge falls. Some of that's going to happen over this first week, but I think more than anything, people are just ready to have something to watch on Thursday and on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I mean, even my wife's in playing fantasy this year for the first time, so that's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be an awkward matchup that week, but you know, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, dude. So as far as everything goes in the hobby realm, so you break pretty much primarily on TikTok. What do you see on TikTok that people might not understand about breaking on TikTok?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think on TikTok, the general consensus is people are looking for name value. Like we have a lot of rookie collectors and a lot of inexperienced collectors who find breaking while they're on TikTok, right? Like scrolling through their social feed, they're not necessarily looking for that. They stumble into there. And so they're maybe a little bit more green when it comes to understanding stuff. What I'm seeing right now, which is crazy to me, is these like 100 blaster, 200 blaster breaks where, you know, people are paying $1,000 plus for quarterback teams. And it's crazy to me because in some of these boxes, like if you know the checklist, like you would understand that a Prism blaster, for instance, the best hit you're going to get out of that is a Jaden Daniels silver. Like they don't even think they have autographs in the Prism Blasters. So if you're doing 100 Prism Blaster break and paying $1,200 for Jaden Daniels, you're going to have to hit 4 of those, 5 of those silvers to make your money back. And there's really not much ceiling. So TikTok in general is a ebb and flow. Like everyone's fighting with the algorithm. I'm always constantly trying to educate and make sure people understand I'm not one of those breakers that's going to yell at you or harp at you for asking questions or trying to figure something out. And it's an open space where people can come hang out if they want to buy, or they can just come and watch the break if they don't want to be in it or just want to see what's going to come out of the boxes. Because we all know, like you and I know, the only way to really understand the full, I guess, spectrum of what could come out of a box is to rip thousands, hundreds of them, right?
Yes.
Like go through cases and be like, okay, now I genuinely, even after that, there's other companies that are ripping way more than we are. But I can tell you after 2 cases, like, hey, here's roundabout what you're going to kind of see out of the boxes. And so I think over time, people on TikTok are getting better at being, I guess, engaged with the chat, but it's such a quick flip app. I always try to keep people in the room, try and figure out a way to keep someone in the room. Yeah. It's got to be so different compared to what you're doing.
It's the exact opposite, to be honest. Like, I mean, if you are in our Facebook group, if you are in my live video, for instance, you're there for a reason. Like it's one of those things. I, on average, have 10 to 20 people in a video, and that average has not changed over 2 years. It hasn't gone up. It hasn't gone crazy down. It's right in there almost every time, because that's about how many people buy in. And on Facebook, I mean, it's the same way. Like I said earlier, how I joined the group because I was relatively inexperienced. Like I opened packs as a kid. Like I still remember ripping 2006 tops and looking for, Ryan Howard cards and stuff and all different Mets and stuff. And I still have that Ryan Howard card somewhere, but it's one of those things where, like, I joined the Facebook group to learn, and I fully recognize that there are people there in that Facebook group to learn. Now, Facebook is very much like, when you think of Facebook, you think of like, oh, my grandpa has Facebook, my dad has Facebook, like they don't have TikTok. So it's very much an environment of, like you were saying, the screaming and everything. There might be guys who do it. I don't. First off, I work all day and then I come home and break. I don't have the energy to scream and yell. But yeah, I mean, it's the same way in terms of education. I think it's just a different demographic in terms of the crowd. Like my crowd is typically like relatively seasoned collectors and everything, but every once in a while we'll get somebody who's newer. Yeah.
New people come into the fold. I think for TikTok, like I see so many new people all the time. It's really being able to get them to become buyers. That's the challenge a lot of times. But it's also such a diverse landscape, right? Like if someone's in there, like you said, hanging out with you, the power of that view to you as a breaker is so big, because they're not scrolling through that Facebook group and finding another live streamer to spend their time with. If they're there, they're committed to being there. And that's one of the things that is maybe more of a challenge on some of the other apps, like especially Whatnot and TikTok.
Oh yeah, big time.
Having to figure out a way to keep people in the room, but both challenges in their own, because I imagine, like, sometimes if you're having trouble getting something filled when you've posted on Facebook, you don't have the ability to be like, come on guys, like yelling at everyone's face, like, we got to buy some of the stuff, right? You're kind of posting and trying to drum things up, I imagine.
I'm messaging people, like people are messaging me, hey, will you take $20 for this team, $10 for this team? Yeah, like, I mean, that's how it works. It's not as much like a, hey, I'll give you $20 for these guys, as you're live and you're like, I don't know, maybe, sure, let's do it, let's close.
Yeah, totally different worlds. But at the same time, I've had a lot of people come into my live from Facebook, from the baseball group, just to say how much they like breaking with you and tell me that I'll never be.
I will say this: I do push people to you all the time, because I mean, even this evening, like you're live, and I'm like, oh, Drake's live. Let me go tap the screen 100 times and get some likes on there.
I love it, man. The support, it means the world.
Absolutely.
So why don't we, what are we going on, 19 minutes? Why don't we give some people some ideas as to like what we're going to cook up on this podcast, how often it's going to come out, and some other maybe like little snippets like that.
Yeah, definitely. So my vision for this, in a way, is at least semi-regularly. So I mean, I'm hoping
dreams.
Yeah.
Look at that.
All right. So I definitely want to do something hopefully weekly. But I know that obviously, like, our schedules get tight and everything, so it may be a week where you run an episode or I do one, but bringing in different guests, different people around the hobby, even folks who are brand new, like, hey, what do you want to learn? You know, just a live, like, hey, what are questions that somebody's too afraid to ask or something? Like, bring it on here. Let's chat. Because this is very much like the environment between you and I is very much a welcoming. It's not like no judgment zone kind of thing. Like, call me Planet Fitness. I'm not ringing no lunk alarm. We're here. We're here to learn, have a good time. Because at the end of the day, this is a hobby. This is the hobby hangar. We're hanging out and we're having a good time.
We are hanging out. Yeah. I think we should do some posts, and this will be a good reminder to us. We should do some posts where we ask people like what they want to know about too, and like get some questions and stuff from TikTok and Instagram, and then maybe we can address those like on a weekly basis or on a bi-weekly basis. If you're watching this, let us know what you want to know about the hobby, about football, about baseball, about Topps, Panini, anything in between, what it's like to be a breaker, what it's like to be almost homeless sometimes when we're waiting on stuff to fill and thinking about if it's going to make sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about. And I will say this: I do already have a guest list building. You know, being this big influencer in the hobby.
Ken Golden,
pretty much Ken Golden.
Gary V.
Yeah, very.
We
just
might
like
be able
Gary
to get Gary V. We met him.
Yeah. His name is Coit Kyles. So pretty much right up there with Ken and Gary. Our resident basketball breaker gave me a shout and said, "Hey, dude, I want to be on. Let's chat," which is perfect for me because I know nothing about basketball. So,
nope. Like Mike, it's a great movie. That's one of my faves. We're playing basketball.
Yeah, and Air Bud. That's about all.
Air Bud. Listen, let me tell you a fact about Air Bud really quickly, not to drive us too far off course, but that dog could actually play basketball. It was not like a editing trick. That dog was trained to play basketball. They went and found that dog, and he continued to play ball after the movie was done. He was a hooper, dude, through and through. Like, he was not a trick dog who could do tricks. He played basketball. Like, that dog was a player, a real basketball player.
Is this guy for real?
Legit. Look it up. And you know what's even crazier?
Right, fine.
All those dogs from those movies, they are all dead. And every time you watch it, you have to think about that. Nah, I'm messing up.
That got us, not to get us too far off course, but we're going to get off course here. But no, folks, if you jumped into this one, seriously, thank you. Like I said, I hope to make this a regular thing. Drake being an awesome guy I wanted to jump on here with and just keep the conversation going, keep the hobby flow going. But we hope to do this regularly. Definitely want to hear some insights, some questions, things like that. Any topics you want to hear about. If something confuses you, hey, like, why do you crack out your cards for grading and sometimes resubmit them elsewhere? Don't look at those grades. Don't.
You couldn't do it good enough the first time.
Yeah, I mean, just anything that's been on your mind in terms of the sports card space or just life in general. Like, hey, how do you manage a full-time job with the Air Force and a side gig like this? Like, anything. How do you make a stream like this? How do you post videos and edit them like that? Anything at all that you might want to do to grow your hobbyscape, grow your pages, things like that. Just ask. I mean, we're always willing to help. Love that, Drake. So, Drake, where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on your nearest grocery aisle looking at the Hostess snacks. I am on TikTok and Instagram at JetBreakers, and my personal account's Drakey Breaks NFL. I usually stream from JetBreakers like 6 nights a week. Yeah, that's where you can find me. What about you, Trent?
So also at JetBreakers on Instagram.
If you're DMing us,
it's one of us.
Who you're talking to.
It's one of us,
or Jason. Usually,
yeah. Actually, it's a trio.
Jason, yeah,
it's a trio. But also at JetBreakers.Trent on Instagram, and then I break in MLB buy sell trade breaks powered by JetBreakers on Facebook almost every night except for Sundays to ship. But yes, that's it.
And we have MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL.
Yes.
UFC?
We do not have UFC yet. That is on the horizon. I am working on creating that group.
Trenton, you're in all of them, right? As an admin. So if you ever if you're in any of the groups, NFL, MLB, NBA, buy, sell, trade, NHL, tag Trent. I'm in all of them, but I'm really mainly active in the NFL one. So if you need anything in there, you'll see me posting like stuff on a daily basis and welcoming new members. Tag either of us if you have problems. If you find scammers in those groups, y'all, I swear I'm hunting scammers right now. I banned someone today and I'm on a witch hunt. If you find any scammers, let us know, tag us. They're few and far between, but they are bad actors out there, so we want to find them when we can and nick it in the bud.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if you're new here, drop us a little subscribe. Go check us out on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere you may find your media. And that's a wrap for this week. Hope to see you again next week. Have a great evening, everyone.
Outro music. Signing off. Your captains.